Lost Christmas I did, Treasure Island, 19 States of Tara. These are all things that I wanted to do years ago. It just took me ages to get around there. Oh, right. Chilling. Well, I thought you meant chilling like that. Yes, the woman that...
Do you have a hero?
Do I have a hero? Nelson Mandela is my registered hero. And I think he may be the greatest man that ever lived, the greatest person that ever lived, or at least he's definitely up as one of them. And also he learned the language of the Afrikaans people. And they were in active opposition, but obviously there's a lot of Afrikaans people who are now speaking Afrikaans who are fine and decent people. And so I like that in that, and the fact that I'm learning French, and in English and the French, you know it in Canada, there's been this scratchiness. And it doesn't become because we're English and French, it's just because we're next to each other. The proximity, you know, the Polish and the Russians, the Polish and the Swedes, the Venezuelans and the people next to Venezuela. You know, you go all around the world, and cities do this as well. Vancouver, Toronto, America, whatever it is. That all goes on. So I like that of him, and he's not a saint, Nelson Mandela, but he's someone who really strives to do the right thing, and it's a really complex thing that he did, and that's why I'm so against Margaret Thatcher. She would not do economic sanctions against the apartheid regime. She would not do it, even when he was released. She would not do it, and it was just wrong. And she just cozied up to General Pinochet, and I just hate her for that. Oh, well, hang on, you can't just do photographs. Yes, go.
When you sort of sneak in political messages or sort of philosophical messages amongst a lot of silly, is that by design, or what's your process around?
Yeah, I'm trying to get, you know, there's points behind the stuff. I'm trying not to be too party political. I'm trying not to be that, you know. Thatcher in hell was one maybe, but but I was told, you know, well, I could do politics in the politics section, and then I could just put points in. But you know, the human sacrifice thing, I think that's probably how it did work. I actually looked at it as the politics. We were just discussing it last night amongst the crew, that probably the politics of the priests. There were obviously some liberal priests saying we should maybe sing songs and do positive dances for the gods, and then there were extremist priests saying, no, the blood sacrifice, saying, well, where did you get this? Saying, no, it has been done as of law, as of, you know, whatever it came from. And I like putting those in and just pointing out the stupidity of things that have gone throughout the repeats of history. So that I find fascinating. So you're trying to get out the point in that, but if it's just completely silly, then that's fine. It's Python, it's Monty Python. Serious stuff, highbrow stuff talked about in the lowbrow way, and lowbrow stuff talked about in the highbrow way. That's what I do. Yes, right at the back.
Do you have a favorite of the routines you've done?
Do I have a favorite of the routines I've done? That is difficult. There are weird ones out there. There's quite a few that I quite like. I mean, I love at the moment. Excuse me. I love at the moment when Caesar dies and says, "Remember me." and I'm trying to get the perfect pronunciation of that bit, because I noticed tonight that people didn't quite hear much, and then I said, "Can you say this out?" And they go, "Oh, and maybe that is the perfect way of doing it. But when I'm saying "remember me," I'm actually channeling Rod Steiger at the beginning of the film Waterloo, when he resigned in 1814 as Napoleon, and he goes, "Remember me, my children." You know, so and I love this. All these film references coming in. What film was there tonight? If you can get it, I can't remember if there was one I said. What was that? Max von Sydow, yes. Because the Kraken comes back later, you see, and he's being hired by the good guys. And Max von Sydow, at the end of 3 Days of the Condor, he helps Robert Redford's character and says, "Would you like to live back?" And you think, actually, he would give him a lift back, because he doesn't give a shit who he kills. Whereas the Kraken just seems to be a big, I quite like him by the end of it. He's an idiot in the bloody film. An idiot turtle. Yes. I know, yes, I know. Yes, I mean, Richard Pryor, as a stand comedian, Richard Pryor, Billy Connolly, they're probably the closest in performance. Billy Connolly for his ease of chatting to vast swathes of people, like if everyone's in a pub, and Richard Pryor's, because he could play these characters, and you could be so there as the, jumping up. There's some films which aren't so good, but Richard Pryor Live and Richard Pryor Live on Sunset Strip are the great classics. And, when he's talking about his attack, his guard dogs, go on. You cannot leave. And he would do the characters of all the things. That brilliant stuff. That's Steve Martin's early stand-up, or his stand-up before he stopped doing stand-up. Monty Python are my common gods, but I like, I was saying yesterday, Harry Endel stuff, Steve Coogan stuff, Pat Oswalt stuff, Norm Macdonald's stand-up was great. I haven't seen it him recently, but he did this great underpowered stuff where he would have dogs that would rip their hair like it was great. Mike Myers, great Canadians doing great stuff. Dan Aykroyd, Saturday Night Live guys, John Candy. So, yes, all the good stuff. I just like the good stuff. Because there's some stuff that's, and there's some quite aggressive stuff, and there's big people, and that's not really my cup of tea. There's hugely political stuff that's not necessarily my thing. I like the surreal, intelligent, and twisty stuff. I'm going to do one more. Yes, I can take yours. Yes.
Love the Riches, and love Tara. Did you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the Riches was my drama school. It was because I didn't go to drama school, I did accounting. So it was like film drama school for me. You're doing an episode, it was 7 days of filming, which is incredible. There's 45 minutes of drama in 7 days, and that's, for film, like 2 weeks you do a film. So at such speed, you had to make quick decisions, and you learn to live on your feet. So it was great doing that, and Tara was great as well, very welcoming group. And working with Brad Fuller and Hannibal is great, even though we're doing horrible things. It's great to work with Matt Mickelson. It's great sparring off him and Lawrence Fishburne. So I do love doing the drama. I love doing the drama and I love doing the comedy. And now it's going to be German. Alles auf Deutsch. That's in the months to come. By the end of January.
Where are you?
Berlin. You're in Berlin? What? Danke. I know what that means. I know what Spiel means many. Spaß is life. Oh, have fun. Spaß is fun. This is what I do, because there's a lot of German. If you go to German, if you know anything about mathematics and speak English, it's quite logical, isn't it? It's a lot of German words. Like Buchhandlung is a book and Handlung is a handler. Buchhandlung is a bookshop. There's a lot of logic, and they love shoving these words, these compound words. There are no exceptions. There are no irregular doodads. Okay, that's good. That's very good. Okay, thank you very much, Victor.